Okay, so we're going to be trying to fix our checkgrounded function, which controls how we add the gravity to our taxi class. So right now, our grounded is false, which means we shouldn't be falling. Actually, false means we're always falling. It's just that we detect a collision, then we reset our Y. So we need it so that if we're grounded, that grounded Boolean becomes true. Therefore, we don't apply gravity every frame. And then as we walk off the frame, as we walk up the platform, we need to become not grounded, and that'll trigger the gravity to be applied. Now, I don't think there's anything really inherently wrong with applying gravity every single frame. It's just that from a design perspective, if we're grounded, we shouldn't be applying gravity, right? Because it's like what we're doing is we're standing on the platform. Then for the next frame, we say, okay, apply gravity. Detect collision. Oh, there's a collision? Okay, set on top. In the next frame, apply gravity. Oh, detect collision. Okay, move it back up. So it's just like, from a design perspective, it's a little messy. So like the ideal that I'm thinking of is like detect collision, reset, turn grounded to true. Don't apply gravity unless grounded is false. And then if you're walking along, we're still grounded. And then as soon as you walk off a platform, you become not grounded. So that was our check grounded function, right? So like check if there's ground beneath you. Then if there's no ground beneath you, you're not grounded, therefore apply gravity. So we're not doing that. Apply gravity, reset, apply gravity, reset, apply gravity, reset, apply gravity, reset, every single frame. So that's one thing we're trying to do, but also we run into a problem with our check grounded function in terms of, let's say we're on the top platform. In our place state, we're saying cycle through all the platforms, all the collidable platforms, and check grounded with it. But then we have to check the ground platform, see if we're grounded on there. And the thing is, as we do that, we overwrite whether or not we're grounded or not. So like let's say, we're cycling through all the platforms, we're on platform 2, check grounded and comes back true. But in our place state, we're saying cycle through all the platforms and set grounded accordingly. Then on platform 3, it'll check grounded with us in platform 3, which will not be the case. We won't be grounded. Therefore, it'll check grounded to false. Therefore, it's applying gravity. That's like why it's messing up right now, I'm pretty sure. So we have to come up with a way to not overwrite our check grounded, or actually our grounded Boolean. We need to come up with a way to not overwrite that while cycling through and checking each one. Now, the previous episode, I tried to give us a field of a instantiation of a platform object, and we assign that platform object based on the bottom collision, which works on paper until you loop on the side of the screen, because at that point we're actually comparing our check grounded with a platform that's on the other side of the screen once we loop. So it just becomes not such a great idea to do that based on bottom collision, even though it sounded like that was a really good idea. So how would we do that? How do we check if we're grounded? It's almost like, okay. I think if we do a for loop, or we do a loop cycling through the platforms, but we only check if we're not already grounded. Because if if we are grounded with any platform, our grounded boolean should become true, at which point on the next platform when it checks, it's going to say, oh, we're already grounded, we don't need to check, because that would just override it. So I think we got to do something like that. Now the other thing is we got to do we use our checkgrounded function that we wrote in our playstate, that for we don't have to have it in our taxi class. See, so this isn't quite what we want actually, because here, yeah, this isn't right at all, because this doesn't check our X at all. Let me see where we use this playstate checkgrounded function. Do we use checkgrounded on this global? Okay, not there. We've got a self-grounded, but not a playstate grounded. So I don't think we're actually using that at the moment. Well, we're using it here, but that's just in the debug. That's not doing anything. Oh, wait. Okay. So I think we need to, I think we're going to take, see, look, in this check grounded, all it takes is a, well, since this is in the taxi class, it only takes one argument, which is the platform to be checked if it's grounded or not. But when we made it global in our play state, we had to give it two objects. We had to give it, god damn, and then there could be multiple taxis on screen at once, so we need to be able to do it for every taxi instantiation, so gotta keep that in mind too. But what I was going to say here is we check the X here. So like this one is looking right versus this one, which is looking wrong. But that's something we need to fix. So let's take a look at our taxi and see if we are in fact applying gravity every frame regardless of grounded. We are not, so that means our check grounded, that means this thing is coming back wrong. So that means this function, see, look. Oy, okay, so yeah, this is where we're assigning that platform to our dot ground, but then where do we actually use that? Oops. Right there, we say, hey, if we're check grounded with our ground field, god damn, okay. So this is where we're swapping it to, we're becoming ungrounded if we're not grounded. So instead of that, instead of comparing it to the field, we need to just run in our loop of all the platforms. We need to just say, hey, run the check grounded only on the platforms, run them on the platforms only if we are not already grounded. And then we still need a way, oh, see, yeah, this is the tricky part. Because we need a way to become ungrounded. If we're not check grounded with any platform, we're no longer grounded. So God, sorry guys, it's like I haven't been getting good sleep lately, and then this is difficult. So my brain is just like wanting to shut down whenever I try to program. I don't know what we should try to do today, because it's hard to tackle, because there's so many. We gotta change so much stuff. We gotta take out our ground platform. We gotta rehaul our grounded collision function. Maybe move it out of this, maybe not, I don't know. But as of right now, we haven't done shit. We haven't had anything to commit because I've just been talking. So I guess we'll start. Let's start somewhere. So I used to think that we should move the check grounded to the play state, the function itself, to the play state, so that we could use the grounded on other objects other than the taxi. Which sounds like a good idea. It's just that now that I'm thinking about it, when we have more than one taxi, we have to compare all the taxis to all the platforms and only overwrite in certain conditions. So like, part of me thinks it's easiest to just have it in the class itself now, where it currently is, and then handle it all in the update function of the taxi class, because it'll be less muddy like that. So I think that's what I'm currently thinking. So where do we start here? Let's look at our check grounded function and see if it's looking right. So our check grounded function will return true if our y is sitting on top of said platform argument, and our left side is smaller than the rightmost side minus the buffer, and our rightmost side is greater than the leftmost side plus the little buffer. And we have the little buffer because with the AABB collision, if we're barely touching, like here's the end of the platform. How do I do this? Yeah. If this is the platform and this is us, well, god damn it, I don't know how to fucking illustrate it. But basically, like, the feet are in the middle of the sprite. So we don't want our feet to be able to stand off the platform. So with AABB collision, we would technically, our feet could be off the platform and we can still be standing, which shouldn't be the case. So that's why we have the buffer. And buffer is just what we're shifting. We'll make us fall just shy of the platform so that our feet can actually fall if they're not standing on anything. And then we return true if that's the case, otherwise return false. So I guess let's just take a look and see what we're doing. So we bottom collide, we set our height. I don't think we're setting our height to 16 if we're in the air, which we'll have to do with our grounded boolean once we get that working right. So we become grounded, we get the taller height, we get the proper y, take away our y velocity, become grounded. Now, we're not going to be doing this here. That was the old way. And we are not going to be adding the ground field. This is actually assigning the ground platform into our ground field of our taxi class. We're not doing that. We're not becoming grounded upon a platform collision, and this is the ground platform collision, which is different than all the platform collidable platforms table we got. And we're not going to be assigning that platform into our ground field. We need to be, so instead of doing grounded true here, we need to say, hey, check grounded, use the check grounded function. And if we're grounded flip. If the check grounded function is true, become grounded, and only check more if we're not grounded. Like, so yeah. If we're not grounded, cycle through them all. Or it's actually cycle through them. Yeah, cycle through them all if we're not. Yeah, actually, yeah, we might want to say, only cycle through them if we're not grounded. Because we're trying, yeah. Hard to wrap my head around, because yeah, we need to cycle through them all to see if we need to become grounded, and then we need to cycle through them all to see if we need to become not grounded. And we can't have those conflict with one another. So I think we might need to, we might need to nest it out so that we check if we're grounded first. Okay. Now this is assigning the platform that we just collided with to become our ground field, which we are taking out. And then here again, cycling through the lists and saying we're not grounded and we're not grounded on any of them. Yeah, see, this isn't right. This looks like it would have been right, but it overwrites stuff. Actually, hold on, we're not grounded. Well, actually, this might be okay, because what this is doing is cycling through every collidable platform, and this condition has to include, since it's an AND, it has to include our check grounded with our ground platform being false. So that means we either need to be on, and since it's not check grounded on a platform, this grounded should only be set to false if we're falling, yeah. Meaning there's no platform beneath us. We're not on the ground. Now we're also saying if we are, see, we're using this ground field here, so we need to get rid of this. And I'm just commenting these out because I need to see, I want to make sure I'm not forgetting any logic that we used to have. And then, if I were to have deleted all of these things I commented out, then I can easily lose my spot or lose my logic of how to implement this. So, oh God, I'm so exhausted. I'm tired. So, what we need to do so this is collision with a platform detection right here. So what I'm going to do is just do the note here saying I'm going to say this is taxi platform collision. Now this right here, this is also platform collision. It's just ground platform collision, so I'll put it here. We'll check ground platform collision first, then we cycle through all of our collidable platforms and check our collisions for those. Now, Now what? Okay, so this is activating gravity, essentially. Activate gravity if we're not grounded on any platforms. We need to become ungrounded so that we can apply gravity. So, because look at right here, yeah, grounded gets false, and then if we're not grounded, apply gravity. So this is like the flip to apply gravity, which only happens if we're not grounded with any platform or any ground platform. So if we're not check grounded on any of those things, we're not grounded, and that therefore we fall. I'm curious if this is just busted at the moment. No. Okay, so we're looking for when the taxi falls, that Boolean to become true. But the thing is here, this is actually a bad, because look, if we look right here, we're running the play state one. So let's change it to our self check grounded, because we determined our play state check grounded was a little incorrect. And it only takes one argument, and actually instead of the check grounded, well, let's do the check grounded for now. So it should only, we want it to turn true when it hits the ground platform, which it does. Now I'm curious if we put this as platform 2, which should be the one it kind of spawns at, if it's true there. It is. Cool. And then it swapped to false, right? So it did start as false for some reason. I mean, I guess it's probably because it starts in the air for some reason. So I guess we instantiate it a little too high. Where do we instantiate our taxi here? We do it right here. At least right now we put it right here. Or do you see, instead of this, let's say platform 2, y shifted by its height, which should be 24. It would actually be 16, because when we're aerial, we're 16, but we haven't done that yet because we haven't done the sprite. We haven't added that yet. Cool. So now it doesn't do that false true thing right at the beginning because we spawn them at the right place. So our check grounded function seems to be working properly now. And our gravity activation seems to be working now. So that makes me think we fixed at least that bug where we were applying gravity every frame. But we do need to, we've got to do some different stuff. So we take a look at our sprite sheet, first frame, second frame, third frame, 4, 5, 6. Our 6th frame is the frame we need to be when we're in the air. And we need to be 16 tall instead of 24. So we need to do that. And then we can worry about, oh, fuck. It's hard to think about, man. There's so much shit going on. Okay, yeah, we're taking this out for now. We're saying, so look right here. We don't need to do anything with here because we're not doing that anymore. We don't need to do anything here because we actually do that right here if we're not grounded. Yeah, we don't need that. And then how do we need to become grounded if we're check grounded with something, which we're not doing. How do we start off as grounded then? Do we start off as grounded? No, we don't. How do we become grounded at the very beginning? Oh, right here. No. Huh. That's a little strange. We must be doing it here somewhere. No? Bro, how are we? Okay, we're actually not. That's just check grounded. Okay. So our check grounded function is working properly, and we need to use our check grounded to actually modify our grounded boolean appropriately to basically match check grounded. Because if check grounded is true, then we should be grounded. If it's not. And maybe, yeah, you know what? That's a tricky one. Like, part of me thinks that since, hold on, is there any time where check grounded would be true and we would want to fall? Depends on the buffer, I guess. Because now I'm thinking instead of using the check grounded function to then do logic in our update, we actually just modify our function to change our grounded boolean. Then we actually don't even have to do any of that shit. So like we can say, hey, if we're grounded here, our self-grounded boolean gets true because we are grounded. Otherwise, our self-grounded needs to be swapped to false because we are no longer grounded. But that still means we need to run this function. Okay, yeah, see, this is the problem. Because we need to run this function only on the platforms. Okay. We need to... Yeah, actually, I don't think I like having that here. God, I'm so tired. We need to cycle through. Oh, God. Just like this, how we're cycling through the collidable platforms, collision detection. We're cycling through the platforms for gravity activation. We need to cycle through the platforms for ground detection. Okay. So we need to say for every platform in the collidable platforms table. And we need to do this a little different. We need to say, if we're not grounded, then we cycle through the list. See, no, this is actually not quite right, because on delta time, once we become grounded, we would need to say it in here. We would need to say it in nested in here. We would need to say for this, if not self.grounded, then check the check grounded with the current platform, and if it is, then our field grounded would need to become true. So if this will cycle through all of our collidable platforms, not the ground platform, but all our collidable platforms. And if we are not grounded, meaning we're falling onto it, basically, we're not grounded, then, if we detect a bottom collision, we'll set ourselves to the correct Y up above, and then we're checking to see if we're grounded with that platform. And if we are, with our check grounded function, then we swap our boolean. Now, the reason I didn't want to put it in the function is that we don't want this grounded to be overwritten. We only want grounded to become true if we're not grounded, because this is cycling through all the platforms. So if we are grounded, if we're grounded on any of the platforms, we need to become grounded and then stop cycling through so we don't overwrite the grounded field. So instead of printing up our check grounded, we need to be printing up our grounded boolean now. And this is setting our grounded boolean. So right now our grounded boolean is only false, but or it was only false, but now we need to put our grounded boolean here in our debugging. So let's see if our grounded boolean changes. No, it does not. Our grounded is only false. I'm curious if it becomes true if we take out this or something. Yeah, see, look at that. So look, gravity is not applied if we're grounded. But for whatever reason, when we do our gravity activation, it overwrites. It just applies gravity nonstop. See, so like this is applying gravity every single frame, regardless of collision, which is what we're trying to not do. It's the old way we did it, and we're trying to fix that. So there's something going on here that we're overriding it. Because if we are grounded, if we are check grounded, so yeah, we want to become not grounded if we're not grounded on, actually I think this is or, no, I think it is and, because yeah, we need, if we're not, or if we, if we're not check grounded, let's print up this. We're going to see if this is acting appropriately with our platform 2. Okay. Okay. It looked like it was working properly, so something's busted in our logic, it looks like. Something's busted here. Like, if we're not check grounded with the platform, and we're also not grounded with the ground platform, then grounded is false, but only then. So since check grounded is true up there on that first platform, our Boolean should be true. I mean, our grounded Boolean should become true, but it's not. And we're saying, oh, you know what? Hold on. It's because the very beginning, maybe. We spawn not grounded. So if we're not grounded, yeah, this is where it's getting messed up. We're not swapping this to true properly, I think. And we're nesting this to avoid the overriding problem. So like, let's spawn our guy a little higher, actually, our taxi. Let's do it like 20 pixels higher and watch the Boolean for our check grounded. You know, that worked. So if that worked, god damn it. It's like I'm sad that things are working appropriately because it means that the things I think should be working appropriately that aren't, I don't know how to fix. So it's like not really reassuring that things are working, certain things are working the way I'm expecting them to. Because our check grounded with platform 2 is working. But our Boolean is not. So if we're facing left here in our taxi, we're facing left, and if we just put our self.grounded Boolean here, it should be false, true, false, you know. Oopsie. That's what we need. False, true, false. It should change to true once we land on that platform, but it's not. And it might be initially turning to true and then it's overriding with this one. God damn it. I don't know why it's not working. We're overriding it somewhere. This is the whole problem. This is the problem we tried to fix with this. But we have the ground field that we're putting in the platform. Okay. Yeah, it's happening right here. We're overriding it to false. Okay. So, how about we split this up? We say, we can't. I'm gonna split it up. I say we can't because we need to cycle through all the platforms, including the ground platform. God dang, it's really not doing it. Okay. It's because it's cycling through all the platforms. I know it is. We just need to figure out. We need to figure out how to. Shit! I gotta go. I gotta pick up Andy. I should have left already. I'm gonna git commit real quick and then head out. But we have to figure out what in our logic is wrong about cycling through the platforms for our grounded boolean. We're gonna say starting out dot ground field or grounded boolean. So git push it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we're gonna see if we can't talk through it a little bit more, figure out why we're overriding our grounded boolean, because it shouldn't be. Our check grounded seems to be working fine. It's just the implementation of using that function is where we're fucking up. So we just have to figure that out.